What is up, guys? We are 2 entries down into this month's special event. It's time for the third, and I would like you guys to tell me in the comments, how are you liking this special event and what is your favorite disaster film? This next entry is a Norwegian film, and I was very interested to see how the visual effects looked. By the by, I'm the movie guy, and this is my review for The Wave. As the film says, Norway is plagued to relive the scenes of this film again in the future. The scientists don't exactly know when, but it will definitely happen. In a small town named Geiranger, a scientist suspects that something truly awful will happen with the mountains. And something awful truly does happen. An avalanche causes a tsunami that ravages the entire town. The film is based on a true story and a lot of people have died. The story is generic and follows very routine plot points like scientist suspects that a calamity will happen, he warns everybody, but they don't listen, they just choose to wait and see until, the calamity actually happens. The big fear of the other scientists was that Christian, the protagonist of this film, was actually wrong about the avalanche and he would just ruin the vacation of the tourists in the city. Even though the story is pretty routine, the film handles it pretty well. In the beginning of the film, the pace is really slow, we get acclimatized to the characters, the situation, and that is just the calm before the storm, literally. And when the storm comes, it's devastating. I was very impressed with the effects of the tsunami and the avalanche. I feared that this film would not have a big budget and the effects would just look bad, but that is not the case. The tsunami, which is the antagonist of this film, is just as devastating on screen as it was in real life. So the film definitely gets some bonus points for that, but it misses some points in the character development department, or more like in the relationships between the characters. Christian, the protagonist, has a son named Sondre, and throughout the film you feel that there is some tension between them, like they might be mad at each other for something, but that relationship is never explored and you are just left wondering why did they even include that tension if it wasn't really going to go anywhere. Another thing that I liked was the feeling of panic in this film. When things went down, people didn't know exactly what to do. Christian had a couple of ideas for the people to go up the hill as high as possible, and the people followed him like a leader. Still, some of them did some mistakes which led to other people being killed, which infuriated my girlfriend with whom I watched this film. But I did feel that that was sort of realistic, in the moments like this, people make mistakes and other people are born heroes. And the film captures that pretty well. In terms of dialogue, story structure, or even overall story, I wasn't very impressed with this film, but I really like the feeling of realism about this film. The performances also help this realism. Christopher Jonner plays Christian and he plays like an absolute madman, and the makeup really helped him, personify this person who's constantly worried about a calamity happening. Anna Daltorp played his wife Idun, and she does get a lot of minutes on screen. Their stories are basically parallels and she's also pretty good. In the beginning of this film I wasn't very impressed with it. The story felt very generic, the pace was slow, but when things got going, the realism of this film really won me over. So my recommendation is that you should give this movie a watch with a rating of 3.5 stars. I want you guys to let me know in the comments if you have seen this film, what are your thoughts on it, or if you are planning on watching this film. While you are there, you can also press that like and subscribe button, press the bell to get notifications every time my videos get uploaded, and until next time, keep on watching movies, guys.
Vi snakker om en 80 meter høy bølge her. Etter 10 minutter så finnes ikke Geiranger lenger.